Mark Thompson stared at the email on his cracked phone screen, his heart pounding like a drum in his chest. Urgent meeting, CEO's office, 3 p.m. sharp. No explanation, no context, just those cold words from the executive assistant. As a single dad juggling a dead-end job at Apex Innovations, Mark had learned to expect the worst. Layoffs were rumored, and with his recent absences to care for his sick daughter, he figured this was it. The axe was falling. But what came next would shatter every assumption he had, leaving him in a puddle of tears he never saw coming. Mark's life hadn't always been this precarious. 5 years ago, he was a happily married engineer, living in a cozy suburban home with his wife, Sarah, and their newborn daughter, Lily. Sarah was the light of their world, vibrant, ambitious, and the glue that held everything together. She worked as a marketing specialist at the same company, climbing the ranks while Mark handled the technical side. They dreamed of family vacations, Lily's college fund, and growing old together. But fate had other plans. A routine checkup revealed stage 4 breast cancer, aggressive and unrelenting. Sarah fought like a warrior for 18 months, but in the end, the disease won. Mark was left alone, a widower at 32, with a toddler who barely understood why mommy wasn't coming home. The grief was suffocating. Mark threw himself into work to numb the pain, but Apex Innovations wasn't the supportive haven it pretended to be. His boss, a stern middle manager named Greg, piled on the projects without mercy. "We all have personal lives, Thompson," Greg would say with a smirk. But business doesn't stop. Mark's performance slipped, he was late more often, distracted by daycare calls and Lily's endless questions about her mother. Bills stacked up, mortgage, medical debts from Sarah's treatments, and now Lily's asthma treatments that insurance barely covered. He skipped meals to afford her inhalers, patched his clothes instead of buying new ones, and lay awake at night calculating how long until they were evicted. Lily was his anchor and his ache. At 7 years old, she had Sarah's bright blue eyes and infectious laugh, but her health issues mirrored her mother's fragility. Asthma attacks came without warning, turning playtime into emergency room visits. Mark cherished their evenings together, reading bedtime stories, making pancake dinners, and dancing to old songs in the living room. "Daddy, when will things get better?" she'd ask, her small hand in his. He'd force a smile. "Soon, Peanut. Daddy's working on it." But inside, doubt gnawed at him. Was he failing her? Sarah would have known what to do, she always had the answers. That fateful Tuesday started like any other. Mark dropped Lily at school, her backpack heavier than her tiny frame, and rushed to the office. The cubicle farm buzzed with the usual chatter, but he felt eyes on him. Whispers about budget cuts had everyone on edge. He buried himself in spreadsheets, trying to ignore the clock ticking toward 3 p.m. When the time came, he straightened his tie, faded from too many washes, and headed to the top floor. The elevator ride felt eternal, each ding amplifying his anxiety. What would he tell Lily if he lost his job? How would they survive? The CEO's office was a stark contrast to the drab lower levels, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city, plush leather chairs, and abstract art that probably cost more than Mark's annual salary. Elena Vasquez, the CEO, sat behind a massive oak desk, her sharp suit and poised demeanor exuding power. She was a legend in the tech world, a self-made billionaire who started Apex from her garage. Rumors painted her as ruthless, firing underperformers without a second thought. Mark knocked softly, his palms sweaty. "Come in," her voice called, firm but not unkind. He entered, closing the door behind him. "Ms. Vasquez, you wanted to see me?" She gestured to the chair opposite her. "Sit, Mark. We need to talk." His mind raced. This was it, the pink slip. He thought of Lily's upcoming birthday, the dollhouse she dreamed of that he couldn't afford. "I know I've been absent lately," he blurted, unable to hold back. "Lily's been sick, and I'm doing my best, but if this is about letting me go. Elena held up a hand, her expression softening. Mark, stop. This isn't about firing you. He blinked, confusion washing over him. It's not. She leaned back, studying him. I've been watching you. Not in a creepy way, she added with a small smile. Through reports, feedback. You're talented, but life has thrown you curveballs. I know about Sarah. Mark's throat tightened. Few people at work mentioned her anymore, it was like she'd been erased. How do you know? Elena's eyes flickered with something he couldn't place, regret? Because I knew her. Better than you might think. The revelation hit like a thunderbolt. Elena explained that years ago, when Sarah first joined Apex, she was Elena's mentor. They'd bonded over late-night strategy sessions, sharing dreams and fears. Sarah had confided in Elena about her aspirations, her love for Mark, and later, her battle with cancer. She was brilliant, Elena said, her voice cracking slightly. And she made me promise something before she passed. Mark's world tilted. Promise? What promise? Elena pulled a folder from her drawer, sliding it across the desk. Sarah knew the end was near. She called me one night, weak but determined. She asked me to look out for you and Lily. Elena's got the resources, she said. Make sure they don't fall through the cracks. I swore I would. Tears welled in Mark's eyes as he opened the folder. Inside were documents, a promotion letter to senior engineer with a 50% salary bump, full coverage for Lily's medical expenses through a company fund, and a scholarship trust for her education. But the real gut punch was a handwritten letter from Sarah, dated months before her death. Dear Elena, it read. If you're reading this, I'm gone. Mark is strong, but he'll need help. Lily too. Use this to remind him he's not alone. Tell him I love him, always. Attached was a check from Elena's personal foundation, $100,000 to clear their debts and start fresh. Mark's hands shook as he read Sarah's words, her familiar cursive blurring through his tears. She planned this? Elena nodded, her own eyes misty. Sarah was always one step ahead. She didn't want pity, she wanted action. I've waited for the right moment, watching to see if you could hold on. You have, Mark. More than most could. The dam broke. Sobs racked Mark's body, years of pent-up grief, fear, and exhaustion pouring out. Elena stood, rounding the desk to place a hand on his shoulder. You're not alone anymore, she whispered. We're family now, in a way. In the days that followed, Mark's life transformed. The promotion brought not just money but purpose. He led a team innovating green tech, channeling his engineering passion into something meaningful. Lily's health improved with better treatments, her laughter filling their home again. They moved to a brighter apartment, and for her birthday, Mark surprised her with the dollhouse, and a trip to the zoo, something Sarah had always wanted. But the real change was internal. Mark joined a support group for single parents, sharing his story and helping others. He volunteered at cancer awareness events, honoring Sarah's memory. Elena became a mentor, not just professionally but personally, hosting Lily for Auntie Days at her estate. Challenges remained, parenting solo was never easy, and grief ebbed and flowed like tides. But resolutions came in small victories, Lily's first asthma-free month, Mark's confident presentation to the board, and the quiet moments when he felt Sarah's presence guiding him. One evening, as the sun set over the city, Mark sat with Lily on their balcony. "Daddy, why do you smile more now?" she asked. "Because Mommy's still watching over us, Peanut. And she sent us angels." Lily hugged him tight. "I love you, Daddy. I love you too. More than anything." Mark's journey taught him resilience wasn't about enduring alone, it was about accepting help, honoring the past, and embracing the future. In a world that often felt cold, Acts of kindness could ignite warmth that spread like wildfire. He realized that vulnerability wasn't weakness, it was the bridge to connection. And in that connection, healing began. As the credits roll on this tale of unexpected grace, remember, life can surprise you in the most profound ways. If this story touched your heart, hit that like button, it means the world to creators like us. And don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring stories that remind us of the power of human compassion. Who knows? The next one might change your perspective forever. Thanks for watching, stay strong, stay kind.